Finding your creative identity is hard. It is really, really difficult, especially when you're trying to balance finding yourself with finding your place in the creative industry as a whole so that you can sustain yourself as a creative professional. And I'm going to share with you what I do and the techniques that I share with my students in how to get started with this process. Hello, I'm Seb, that's Steve.
Hey.
And today we're going to take a look at how to find your creative identity. Now, the first step to find your creative identity is to think about what you love. Now, this is an incredibly important question. This is something that you need to invest time into to explore what you're passionate about. Without doing this, you're not going to be able to work out the things that inspire you to create your own work. So what I'd recommend you do is take the time to simply either create a mood board or a list of all the things that you love. Should we take a look at one of mine? So here's a visual of loads of character designs and costume designs that I love. Now, when you make these mood boards, it doesn't have to be for something as specific as this. It could be quite a generic mood board. It could be just all the things that either inspire you visually or musically. It could be a particular line or set of words. It could be colors. It could be films that you love. It doesn't matter what it is. It just goes into some form of mood board. Now, because I've been doing this for so long, I have developed one for a specific interest that I'm focusing on at the time. However, if you're doing this for the first time, you should just lay out all the things that you love without niching it down. So this is my mood board for interesting character designs and costume designs that I'm really just... I love it. I love it. I love the colors. I love the use of the the folds, the shadows, the expressions. I find them really interesting, and composition as well. There's so much to each of these. We got various works from sources from Pinterest and Instagram that I've just sort of collated into a single wall of things that inspire me and interest me, and that way I've got them all here tonally to sort of pull from with my own drawings, my own animations, and my own illustrations. Some amazing work here, some from Libby Fame, like this one here with Peach Riot, and various other artists. But yeah, you can sort of get a feel for that kind of energy that inspires me. And the key is for you to find that energy that inspires you, that draws you to creativity, to pieces of media that you can make. So first thing is, give this a go. Make your own. If you don't, you're not going to be able to start on the next step. You have to collect. You have to collect the things that you care about. Oh, what's that? I think there's someone at the window. Oh, hi, Mr. Crow. Oh, do you have something to say? Oh. Anyway, let's take a look at the next part of what we need to consider. Next, we need to think about what inspires you. So when it comes to your mood board, what I would recommend you do is you write an explanation of what exactly about each photo you find particularly inspiring. What was it that made you love it? What was it that made you put it in this compilation? For me, with that previous example we looked at, it was things like the expression, the colours, the pose, the use of clothing, the way it hangs on them, the scaling, the perspectives, the proportions. For each one, I've gone through and pulled them apart with specific reasoning as to why I love the particular photos I've used. And the same goes for music as well. If you're a musician and you've collected a folder of pieces of music or sounds that you really enjoy, why did you choose them? Was it something in the background, a really particular pattern of sounds that just make you feel warm, or something which has this really instantly head-bopping beat? What is it about that particular song that has grabbed you, or that particular image that has grabbed you? The more detailed you can be with your explanation, the easier you are going to be able to find your creative identity. Because if you can explain what about particular pieces of work inspire you clearly, you can then communicate that to yourself and to your own work. I think it's naturally important for us to appreciate what you enjoy and, almost equally, what you hate. Knowing what you don't like is almost as important to help you identify where you should target your energy, because you will then know where not to target your energy. So spend some time exploring what you hate. Watch films that are bad, in quotation, and understand what about them you hate. It's not going to do you any good if you just go, I don't like that, it's rubbish, because you need to know why. Why is it that you are not going to aim to create something similar in your own work? And again, this goes for making your own artwork in terms of illustration, for filmmaking, for animation, for music. What is it that you're repulsed by? What pushes you away? Because it's so important to know, and to know why too.
Everything repulses me.
Going back to our list of what you enjoy, what you're going to do is we're going to find out how they're made. We're going to spend some time doing some research. You are going to gradually develop your creative professional skill sets. You have identified particular things that you're fascinated in, and now you have the opportunity to target them. Because before this, you might have just thought, I just want to make stuff, but what exactly do you want to make? And having identified the specific thing about the piece of media that you enjoy, that has given you something that is incredibly targeted. So, for example, it might be, I love the way of the use of frame rates in animation. I love the way that some sequences feel slower and almost like stuttery, but in some moments they feel quick. And I want to understand that more because it's something that I love, as an example. And so you might go ahead and look into how frame rates affect animation. And you could learn it, develop that as a skill. Speaking personally, for one thing which I did and found inspiring, I loved the way that in certain anime, characters were able to catch their own weight. Like everything felt heavy in a particular sequence of shots that I saw from Naruto. And so I went and understood and learned about the physics of movement. I learned about center of mass. I learned about how inertia works, how momentum works, so that I could then illustrate those movements in a way that felt satisfying, because it was the satisfaction that caught me. So what is it that has caught your attention? What is it that you are going to learn about? Have a think after you've done these activities so that you can actually target something you're passionate about. Now, thinking about who or what we want to be as a creative professional, we need to start thinking about money, jobs and places that we could work. And it's important for us to give ourselves that combination of an identity perspective and also some commercial viability perspective as well. We should consider what brands or companies to make content for. I think making a list is a really nice way of identifying the particular brands or particular companies that you would like to make content for. Have a look. See if you can think of any brands that you would enjoy making content for. And once you've made that list, maybe suggest potential content they might like. Have you seen kinds of commercials that you think would resonate really well with this particular brand? Maybe there's already commercials that they've made that feel very in line with the brand itself, that is of an energy that you would really enjoy working on. And once you've done this, I'd say pick one company and one format of content and explain how you might plan the project. So what we're doing is we're changing that perspective from what it is you want to do as a standalone creative to what it is you could do with your interests along with potential commercial viability and professionalism. How could you position yourself within the creative industry in an area that you're going to enjoy and with particular interests that you've identified that you're passionate about? Now that is everything we're going to cover in this session, as it's a great start for you to start developing these things and work out who you are within the creative industries. For more resources, or if you just want to check out the kind of things that I do, you can head to sebcox.com or follow me at sebcoxfilms. I hope you found this useful and or interesting, and I'll see you next time.